Good evening. We are joined in by leading economist and public policy analyst from Bangladesh, Mr. Debapriya Bhattacharya. Sir, there are rapid changes in Bangladesh. The new government has been sworn in. Rahman, the BNP leader, is now heading for a victory out there in Bangladesh. Sir, how do you see India-Bangladesh ties panning out since Mr. Rahman has come in, and it has been 18 months of literally bad times or not very good times between India and Bangladesh. How do you see it changing now, sir?
I see this as a new opportunity to reboot the relationship between India and Bangladesh. And I think the congratulatory note at a very early time from Prime Minister Narendra Modi is very well taken, his call as well. It comes, I think it essentially consolidates the goodwill created by your foreign minister's, Mr. Jaishankar's visit during the funeral of Begum Khaleda Zia. So the important part now is that gestures are gestures, diplomatic gestures are very well taken, but one will have to now recreate a new narrative for the relationship and provide real substance, which is based on mutuality of interest and respect.
Yeah, sir, if I will cite the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, saying that India, I quote, to say that India will support a democratic, progressive, and inclusive Bangladesh. These are vital words coming from India, and especially since the past 18 months, I refer to those again. What is the kind of improved cooperation you see happening between India and Bangladesh?
You see, again, I'm trying to say that it is not a technical issue. It has a very important political understanding or the basis of the rebooting of the issues. It cannot be just an extension of the old, particularly given the narrative which has been coming from Delhi in the recent 1.5 years, has to really be reflected upon. And what is the new approach, what you would like to, or the new premises on which the relationship will be based. You very well understand that you have a high guest from Bangladesh being hosted by your country. And if that particular guest remains a variable in the relationship, if the decoupling does not take place, then it will be difficult to operationally take forward the new beginning.
Mr. Bhattacharya, you have been very diplomatic about saying it is the high-value guest happens to be Sheikh Hasina. And there have been calls from Bangladesh to deport her in the past also and immediately after these elections also. Or you think what will be India's stance and what will be Bangladesh's demand at the moment?
You see, it's not necessarily the question of repatriation or sending her back. The issue is whether she will become a variable in the equation, in the sense that the megaphone diplomacy she pursues from the neighboring country is essentially a distraction. So any understanding which happens with Bangladesh in the future between India has to be based on some red lines. For example, one of the red lines is that we won't use each other's territory for subversive activity against other. And if that be one of the red lines, Bangladesh territory will not jeopardize India's security. Similarly, India's territory should not be used to jeopardize Bangladesh security. So there are some basic red lines on with the basis of which the relationship will progress.
Sir, are you suggesting that India will have to make a call whether to leave Hasina or take a call of joining more openly with Mr. Rahman? What is that you're suggesting?
No, what I'm saying is that there should not be messages coming from the capital of a neighboring country, which creates distraction, if not subversion, in our domestic politics. So that is the point over here. We don't meddle into each other's domestic politics. Similarly, if I expand this particular logic, I will say that Bangladesh-India relationship should not also become a variable in India's domestic policy. We go on hearing that the Bangladesh relationship with Bangladesh has relevance or is still, important for the upcoming elections in West Bengal. So these things make us feel worried.
Sir, you have made very valid points to start off with. I will take you down one road which is very important for India, which India sees it. Please put it in the right perspective for our Indian viewers and international viewers. New Delhi has often feared that the Pakistan-Bangladesh-China nexus or a nexus or even an alliance may not be good for India. And BNP, especially during the time of Madam Khaleda Zia's time, leaned a bit towards Pakistan, and even the present interim government led by the interim president, Mr. Mohammad Yunus, leaned a bit towards Pakistan, had India worried. What is the kind of reset you see on this aspect, sir?
I think one would understand that we live in a very changing world, and where disruptive developments are taking place. World has become very mercantilist and transactional. We see in our geostrategic approaches and our economic and diplomatic relationship. It applies to all countries as it applies to India and Bangladesh. The point is that India has valid concerns about its security. Bangladesh is sensitive to that, I understand. And so, as I mentioned earlier, that we should not be using each other's territories to subvert this in a security address or remain sensitive to the security concerns of our neighbors. So that's very fine. But at the same time, it does not mean that economic cooperation with other countries, other diplomatic or political interfaces will be stopped altogether. Bangladesh is a relatively small country in economy size. It is in South Asia, but it is very globalized economy. It has exports, imports going around the world. It has looks for foreign direct investment from all over the world. It has remittance income coming from all over the world, Middle East in particular. So it will keep a balanced relationship with all its near neighbors and distant neighbors. So that is how it is to be concerned. The important thing is that we'll have to somehow dissociate the security concerns from our development aspirations.
Sir, I'll take you back to a word you used at the start of this interview. You used that we have to reset India and Bangladesh have to reset the relations. Sir, could you please drive us through? There was a time during the Madam Khaleda Zia's time, then Sheikh Hasina's time, Mohammad Yunus's time. What is the reset? What is the ideal reset for India and Bangladesh in the present geopolitical scenario in the changed times?
I think the idea for reset is that the way Indo-Bangladesh relationship progressed during the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's time, overwhelming Bangladeshi thinks that it did not serve the overall purpose or development interest of Bangladesh. So there was lack of mutuality in that way. For example, whether particularly in the area of connectivity, and also in some way India became a part and parcel of our domestic politics or domestic security concerns. So I think that particular part has to be clarified in some way, that in the future that we really respect each other's interest and we really balance it. It is a realism which is very much obvious to Bangladesh, that Bangladesh needs India for its future development and as well as its existence in many ways. But at the same time, India should also appreciate that a stronger Bangladesh, a stable Bangladesh is also in its interest and will also respect that particular part. That part is what we call the reset. Reset in the sense that not from the way it cannot be just an extension of what was there where Sheikh Hasina left it. There needs a bit more introspection. We hope that that introspection happens in Delhi as well, that what went wrong, because it needs to be understood that something went wrong, that all of a sudden whole of Bangladesh, overwhelming majority of Bangladesh have become anti-Indian. It is not a very healthy sign. So we need to retreat, think through, and come back again on this particular issue. But we need to come back. We need each other.
Sir, I'm sure both sides are talking at the back end, and also the foreign minister recently visited. You pointed out to that visit when Madam Khaleda Zia passed away. Sir, the incoming or the winning candidate, Mr. Rahman, has made a very important point, and I quote, he said he will respect India's interests. How is that different from his own mother's tenure or the recent happenings?
I think people learn through experience. That's so you have to allow that. You should allow that people to absorb the new realities and move forward. That is expressed through these wise words of Mr. Rahman.
Sir, I'll take you to the question of border. India has particularly raised the aspect of border security with Bangladesh, including fencing. The border guards on both sides have had a number of clashes in the past 5, 7, 10 years, and these clashes have happened periodically. There is a political rhetoric in India regarding infiltration. I use the word infiltration. The quote is the infiltration from the side of Bangladesh. Sir, what will be the stance of Mr. Rahman or is the BNP government with regards to India's concerns with regards to border crossings or to the border fencing?
I don't know what is in his mind, but I can quote from their election manifestos. One of the major concerns which is there in Indo-Bangla relationship is the so-called border killing. So we see regularly that innocent people crossing the borders, usually doing informal trade, which one may call the way smuggling and other things happening. So they get killed very regularly. So, and there had been a discussion about this long time before. Joint monitoring and fencing was the Indian response and etc. So I think there's more security, stability and peace in the border area is very, very important for both sides. And regarding the infiltration, we have seen the recent pushbacks and others. And we have also seen that the Indian Muslim citizens have been sent back to Bangladesh, Bengali-speaking Muslim citizens of India origin. So that is also happening. So I think what is important to open up the dialogue, and so that we don't, again, as I mentioned, we should not use our bilateral relationship for domestic politics. The moment it becomes a variable in domestic politics, then it goes out of the hand of the citizens, if not the government. So I think we should take, again, a very what you call a sensible look at how we can really make our border region more peaceful.
Mr. Bhattacharya, do you think that India and Bangladesh will now have a more predictable relationship? This predictable relationship was missing during Muhammad Yunus's time. Will it be more predictable now?
I think the Professor Yunus time, the relationship deteriorated significantly. Could have been improved, could have been better, but I think it needs two hands to do the clapping, and you see how it operated. Mr. Jaishankar came to Dhaka to the funeral of Begum Khaleda Zia, which was a very, very well appreciated gesture on the part of Bangladeshi citizen. But immediately afterwards, one of our very renowned cricketer was excluded from the team, the KKR team, and we know that it was a very politically driven decision which was taken. So it immediately took out the wind from that goodwills generated by Mr. Jaishankar's visit. So I think we should be careful how we handle the public diplomacy over here. And my point here, to make the relationship more predictable, what we need to do beyond government to government relationship, and as you said, behind the door or negotiations or discussions. For that, we need a multi-stakeholder approach. I think we should allow our private sector to talk to each other more so that we can work out what are the barriers of our trade expansion. We should allow our academics to talk more so that we can explore the ideas. The media people should also talk to each other much more than before. So I think it's a multifaceted relationship with India, with our common history, culture, and also aspiration. And I look at it in a very positive way. It's a new beginning, it's a new opportunity, and both sides should seize it.
Sir, when you say new beginning and new opportunity, I'll take you to the trade part. See, the US and India have signed or agreed on an interim trade agreement. US and Bangladesh are in trade talks. US has said, that's what I read in the media, the US media, that the cotton yarn which Bangladesh procures from US will be kind of exempt. So far, Bangladesh imports a lot of cotton yarn from India for its ready-made garment business, and Bangladesh is a leader in that. So do you think the US-Bangladesh cotton thing, or the cotton duties will impact trade of cotton between India and Bangladesh?
Yes, thank you. That's an interesting question. I'm an economist. I can tell you this is a cost-benefit analysis for each of the importers to see the American cottons are a bit costlier than other sources of cotton. So they will have to see whether the duty exemptions, zero tariff market access, duty-free, quota-free market access with products based on American cotton, whether they are more competitive than having cheaper yarn from India, but with duty applied on it on the American market. I think it will be a very much a commercial decision made by each of the importers or the exporters for that matter. We'll have to see how it goes, because this whole trade relationship, both the US, India, Bangladesh, United States, as well as the rest of the world, what I call, when we live in an era of Greenland effect, we should not really rush too much to the conclusion at that. Every relationship is now in an evolving stage.
Right, Lisa, you pointed out that the mathematics and the numbers are still to be evolved over the trade. Sir, I'll take you to one more interesting aspect. You spoke about cricket, and you spoke about how the IPL, the Bangladesh cricketer was asked to leave the IPL team KKR, and also Bangladesh did not want to play the World Cup. The World Cup is already started, that cannot be undone, but do you think India and Bangladesh could start off by undoing the IPL part? IPL is still to start in April.
I'm not a sports expert. I have no idea over that. But we should be playing cricket. There should not cricket. As the Brits would have said, that all your gentlemanly behavior starts with by playing cricket. We should learn how to play cricket, both in politics, in economics, and in our social life.
Sir,
that can also start. And that can also start by easing the visa regulations in Dhaka at this moment.
Great, sir. Sir, I'll bring you back to trade. What are the products you think India and Bangladesh should be trading more or can trade more? Because we share a common border. The cost of importing something from India or India importing something from Bangladesh will be much less than importing from some other country. What are the immediate things you think that we could do?
Mr. Banerjee, we know that the intra-regional trade is one of the lowest in the world.
Yes.
Less than 5% of the local regional trade. But if you look at in the way that the world is changing, in the age of AI, artificial intelligence, what is happening is the whole supply chain is being redone all over the world. And the comparative advantage of each of the countries are being reassessed based on the new innovation, technology, and other things. So I look into the future as an economist is not so much as bilateral trade, but how Indo-Bangladesh trade can support each other to trade with the rest of the world. And both through the foreign direct investment and a concrete case in point. For example, the Matarbari, the deep sea port, which we are building with the great support of the Japanese government. This Matarbari port, deep sea port, can service not only Bangladesh, but also the 7 states in India, the landlocked Nepal, landlocked Bhutan in the future. So I think this whole trade angle needs to be rethought, not only in terms of bilateral trade, but also extra-regional trade with supply chain. And number 2, also we should think through trades not only on the basis of manufacturing goods, but also services. That was the whole idea about the connectivity, what India wanted to have with Bangladesh, and we also wanted to have, but we could not really end up reaching Nepal or Bhutan because of the intransigence of India in these cases. So I think, again, when I talk about the new beginning, new thinking, I think we need to really let go the relationship out of the clutches of the old hawks who really had the way of looking at these things in their own way, and liberate our relationship and let the new generation look into it.
Sir, one last question. Sir, when you say we have to do away with the past, in the past 18 months, both sides have shown maps transgressing each other's territory. Somebody in Bangladesh put out a map, India protested. Somebody in India put out a map, Bangladesh protested. Do you think that this map business, trying to redraw the boundaries should end?
I think we are all grown up and matured enough to understand what is a provocation and what is a policy. We should learn how to make ourselves more matured in the era of social media and artificial intelligence, not to pick up this kind of things to serve our very narrow political interest. So and if we start picking on this kind of things, I can say many leaders of your country, both in the East and the West and in the middle, have said many disparaging things about Bangladesh, comparing them with insects and termites and everything else.
Yes.
I think we also remember those things. So a serious politician who really loves their country would be looking at the relationship from the mutual benefit and also mutual respect. That is the new thing which we are all looking forward to. Because as I said, both India and Bangladesh need each other, and we can, and a stable, prosperous India is good for Bangladesh, and a stable, prosperous Bangladesh is also good for India. That's how we need to look into the future. I remain hopeful that the Indian relationship will learn from the experience of the recent past and do the introspection and really come back with some fresh thoughts.
Mr. Bhattacharya, that was nice. You spoke about so many issues. And for our listeners and viewers, Mr. Bhattacharya has spoken about having a reset between India and Bangladesh relations. It is very vital, and let go of the past, he says, and start off on a fresh note and get down back to talking to each other at behind the doors or with diplomats talking to each other. Thank you for speaking to us, Mr. Bhattacharya. Thank you for your time.